So the question is, why is Antone Melton, who is running as a Democrat, being funded by Republicans and hedge fund manager of those Republicans? I had a heated debate with one of my friends on Facebook today regarding Ilhan Omar and her opponent, Antone Melton. My friend thinks Antone is better for Minnesota Congressional District 5. I think Ilhan is better because of her track records. Okay? When we are electing someone, we need to make sure we are electing someone who cares about agenda that affects the district, the people in that district, not the person who has the most money. Because speaking of money, we know politicians are beholden into their funders, people that pay for their ticket, people that pay for their campaign, people that donate. That's the person that they will listen to later when they get to Congress, not the regular Joe's agenda. Okay, so in last quarter in 2019 and the first quarter of 2020, you can see that Ilhan Omar was out fundraising more than Antone. But last quarter, something happened. Out of nowhere, for some weird reason, some Republicans freaked out, and Antone received 7 times more than Ilhan Omar in funds raised. Not from Minnesotans, obviously, because Minnesotans were already supporting Ilhan Omar. So the question is, why is Antone Melton, who is running as a Democrat, being funded by Republicans and hedge fund manager of those Republicans? It's reported that the Republicans and the Republican donors are pouring huge sums of money into Antone based on the records from last quarter. This election was supposed to be about Minnesotans and only Minnesotans in District 5. But instead we have a guy collecting large sums of money from outsiders. And I'm talking about Republicans, donors or hedge funders who donated to Republicans most of the times and now donating into Antone. So if Antone gets elected, wouldn't he be beholden into the people who he took money from? As you know, if you collect the money from specific type of people, they want something back for their money. So if you look at this graph, Antone was raising little to no money from the last quarter, fourth quarter of 2019, first quarter of 2020. Then raised 7 times what Ilhan had raised last quarter. If you look at the data closely, you will see where the money is coming from. Ilhan Omar outraised Antone by 10-1 when it comes to individuals who have contributed $200 or less. That is, if one person voted or supported Antone, 9 supported Ilhan Omar. But most of the money raised on the second quarter were raised by Antone. So what happened? It's clear. Most people who raised money for Ilhan Omar last quarter paid $200 or less. On the other hand, Antone money came from big organization donors who have no vote in Minnesota District 5. In fact, of the 3.2 million collected by Antone last quarter, 3 million were large donations. So looking at this number, you see organizations like APAC, hedge fund managers, CEOs, and other members of those organizations are pouring huge sums of money into Antone's campaign. Antone is getting this huge Republican money. Ilhan is getting these grassroots, progressive individuals donating a lot of money to her. But let's look at the records. Ilhan Omar has a record. What has she supported while she was in Congress, in last Congress sessions? Here are a list of her last bills she sponsored. The first bill says Protecting Our Protesters Act of 2020. Second, Civil Act. Third, Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act, SAFE Act, SNAP, Online Purchasing Flexibility Act, Recovery Rebates, Suspending School Meals Debt Act, Meals Act, Universal School Meals Program Act. Those are the bills that Ilhan has sponsored, the last few that's listed on the government website. So, looking at who's supporting who, the few people that I have looked at that are supporting Antone is one, Fairfield Health Services CEO, James Hereford, and Douglas Baker, the CEO of Ecolab. So why will a CEO be supporting someone who fighting for Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act or universal school meals or cancellation of school debt? The priorities of the people supporting Antone are not in line with Minnesotans, because Minnesota District 5 is not that rich. The district has 70% white people, 16% black, 9% Hispanic, with 9% unemployment. Average income of $50,000. Only 42% of people living in this district have a college degree. So, based on the people that are living there, universal school program meals, canceling school meal debt, rent and mortgage protections, protection of civil, those are important items that any congressperson who cares about the people in that district will be fighting for. And I'm sure the CEO of Fairfield or Ecolab don't really care about that. So who do they support? The person who's not going to fight for that. The person who will not fight for issues affecting this district is the person that they're supporting. APAC, hedge fund managers don't care about your school meals. They don't care about your rent problems. Or they don't care about the fact that for the last 4 or 5 months you couldn't work because of coronavirus. They're the CEOs, they're rich. Who are they supporting? Antone. What do they want from him? To not support such programs. So, why will we even bother electing someone else when we have someone fighting for us on issues that matter to the district? I will say the district need to vote and forget about even entertaining someone else based on what is in the best interest for the residents of this district. Ilhan Omar is the best person based on the bills she has sponsored, the bills she has helped pass, and the bills she has introduced or supported. She is the best person for the district. My question is, why will someone who's running on a Democratic ticket be getting money from the Republicans? That's the question anybody needs to be asking themselves. So, we need to make sure that we are united as a party, doing what our leaders are asking us to do. And in this case, Nancy Pelosi, Keith Ellison, and the DFL party, all of them endorsed Ilhan Omar. So if we're going to be a district that follows its leaders, then we need to make sure we follow them and also endorse Ilhan Omar and not entertain a corporate sponsored individual who will not be doing what's good for the district.